Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today I'm back in Grand Theft Auto Online and we're going to be trying out the drift tuning upgrades that have been added to 4 new vehicles, one being the brand new DeClassy Walton L35 Drift, which this week is free on Southern San Andreas Super Autos. We also have the Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire, with drift tuning available for it now. We have the Annis Hardy and we have the Dinka Chavos V6. All of those vehicles now have drift tuning, which is really cool. So we're going to start off with the Gauntlet Hellfire. I'm going to take it into the car meet and we're going to go ahead and put the drift tuning on it, and then we're going to try it out and see how it stacks up against some of the other drift cars we already have in GTA Online. And I will be doing a ranking video on all the drift cars on Sunday this week, so stay tuned for that because I think it's going to be a really interesting video to see how everything kind of stacks up versus each other. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and modify this thing and put the drift tuning on it. All right, so drift tuning, it's going to cost 200k. I'm pretty sure it removes all the upgrades, and they did change it so that now upgrades don't matter. You don't have to have the upgrades on before putting drift tuning on. It doesn't matter, it just completely negates the entire thing. So $200,000. Please note that any installed performance modifications are unavailable on drift vehicles, but they will be reapplied if the tune is removed. So it's not like you have to buy them again, which is good. So anyway, we got drift tuning on this thing. I'm actually really excited about this. The Hellfire barely needed drift tuning in my opinion. Like, it's already a very oversteer heavy car, but I do feel like my prediction is that this thing is going to be a lot more controllable while it's oversteering with the drift tuning. So I'm excited about that. Something that does piss me off about the drift tuning is the cars feel so all-wheel drive with drift tuning on them, but it's cool to see it on here nonetheless. But so far, let's see. I don't know. The Hellfire's feeling pretty good. It's definitely feeling pretty good. I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far. I mean, granted, it's been all of like 7 seconds, so I definitely will have some time to not like it here as well, depending on how good it is. But you know, honestly, there's like pretty subtle differences between like all the drift tuned vehicles. To be completely real, I think the biggest factors with all the drift tuned cars and trucks and everything. I think the biggest factor with all of them is the size of the vehicle. I think that makes probably the biggest difference as to how driftable a vehicle really is in GTA Online. Throttle input is also a big thing, and different cars will have different throttle inputs and different sensitivities to it and everything like that. Luckily though, on PC, my input is either 0 or 100 because it's the keyboard. So there's no controllers here, no throttle input here. It's either off or it's on. So that's good or bad depending on how you want to view it. But I will say the Hellfire feels good. It definitely doesn't feel bad. I kind of wish it would pick up speed a little bit better. Maybe it doesn't feel like it's picking up speed very well, which is kind of annoying for like some more like sort of higher speed drifting. But it's not bad. It feels like, honestly, it feels really similar to like all the other drift tunable cars. So I like that it's in the Hellfire package though. I like the Hellfire a lot. I also feel like this thing, I want to say it kind of feels like it has a little bit more grip than some of the other drift cars. I feel like some of the other ones would like tend to like roll back a little bit more, or like be more likely to like slide further than you'd like want them to, if that makes sense. So I'm impressed with the Hellfire for that reason, because it definitely feels like it's fairly good. Oh, the brakes are so bad though. I wish the brakes wouldn't get so affected by the drift tuning. I guess to a degree it's to make it so that you can like maintain a drift a little bit easier without having like the brakes be so overbearing and just stop you instantly. But I kind of wish that the brakes worked a little bit better, because this is it's a little bit too weak for my liking personally. But I'm sure they did it for a reason. But I am finding the Hellfire relatively easy to control though, as far as like keeping it where I want it to go. Like, that's what I mean. It doesn't go further than I'm hoping it will when I'm drifting it around here. So that's good, and I'm very impressed with that about the Hellfire. I am really interested to compare it with the Walton L35 Drift, because the regular Walton L35 stock that was added with this last update is all-wheel drive. So I'm curious to know if it's going to sort of feel more all-wheel drive-y, you know what I mean? Compared to a car like the Hellfire that is definitely rear-wheel drive. There's nothing all-wheel drive about this car. No matter how you slice it, I feel like the drift tuning still kind of makes all cars like kind of feel a little bit all-wheel drive, but I'm just curious to know how it's going to feel on the Walton L35 Drift, to know if it's going to feel like, I don't know, I guess extra, like all-wheel drivey, I guess, for a lack of a better term. I don't know, I'm pretty impressed with the Hellfire though. I think this thing is actually pretty good. It's doing what I want it to, and it's not going too far up until just hitting that signpost there. I'm pretty sure this thing is 100% clean. I don't even think I've crashed it yet, so that is good. That's good to see. Definitely what you want. I almost feel like I wish this thing had like maybe a little bit more like power though. Like it's almost like too controllable. Like it's almost like too easy to control, which is odd. It's an odd thing to say. It's an odd want, but I don't know. It just something about it. I don't know. It feels like the wheels aren't spinning enough to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but it just, yeah, feels kind of weird. But at the same time, I like it. I like how controllable it is, and I would take the controllability over having some additional wheel spin, I guess. I do suppose. So we're gonna pull back up to the LS car meet here. I'm pretty impressed with the Hellfire, but we are gonna go ahead and get the. You know what? I'm gonna get. I'll get the Walton. I'll get the Walton next. Let's do that. I haven't even customized the Walton yet, but I'm curious to see what it's going to have versus the regular Walton L35 stock. So I'm curious to know how it's going to behave in comparison to the Walton L35 stock. I wonder if it's still going to be all-wheel drive. Let's see. Definitely. Oh wait, do you not even need to put drift tuning on it? This thing feels really drifty. Oh. Do you not need to put drift tuning on this thing? That's interesting if that's the case. This thing feels really good to drift. And considering it's literally stock, like I've done absolutely nothing to it, that's awesome. This thing feels really sick to drive. What? It's super controllable. Again, like I said though with the Hellfire, I think the size of vehicles really makes like a big difference, because this thing is relatively small, and it just feels like it's got some extra just controllability to it. It feels even more easy to predict where it's going to go and everything like that, and it's definitely a lot easier to keep it from crashing, despite that I did crash already, whereas I didn't for like about 5 or 6 minutes with the Hellfire. I feel like this thing is super easy to control though. That's really cool to see. Okay, well I'm gonna drift my way over back to the LS Carmi, and let's just go ahead and see what this truck actually has that can be done to it, or if it's got drift tuning on it right now. Like I feel like it does. I feel like it must have drift tuning on it right now. Like it feels drift tuned for sure, but I'm kind of curious because I think that would mark the only vehicle in GTA Online that you didn't actually have to like put drift tuning on. You know what I mean? Because every other car you've had to take to the car meet, spend 200 grand on it to get it to drift and everything like that. So be curious if it actually just came with the drift tuning. That would be really cool. So let's go ahead and just slide on in here. Accidentally took that lady out. My bad for sure. You know, something that annoys me about the car meet is that it makes you get out of the car immediately when you get in here. I feel like it should have kept you in the car and give you the option to get out right away, you know, if that's what you wanted. But I don't know who's getting out of their car at the car meet right away. Like most of the time when I come here, it's to customize like the headlights and stuff like that. Interestingly, with this vehicle, so it doesn't give you the option to even remove the drift tuning, which is quite interesting. But you do have the ability to change it up. Like you can put the armor upgrade on it. There's the bumper options and everything. Oh, this thing definitely does have some additional customization for it, so that's cool. I guess as far as customization on this thing goes, we'll do the skirted splitter, and for the rear diffuser, I don't think I'm going to put one on because that just looks way too ugly. For the exhausts though, I think, I don't know, actually I kind of like the stock exhaust, to be honest. I think I'm going to leave that alone. We can go primary fenders though, which is cool. We also have, we've got the bolt-on arches as well, which kind of look a little bit different. We got the molded arches, which is cool too. We have the drift kit, which is sick. That's a cool option to have for this car, for this truck, I guess. Drift kit, let's go ahead and throw that on. For the grille itself, we can definitely do something to it for sure. I kind of like it in that matte black color though. I think I'm going to go with that. I think I'll go matte black with grill inserts. Let's do that. The hood, we got a bunch of different options here. I didn't expect this thing to have like different customization comparatively to the regular Walton, so I didn't plan on making a customization video at all for this, but maybe I should have. As far as the hood goes on this thing, I feel like a lot of the options are pretty ugly. I think I'm going to go for the cowl induction hood. The turbos is cool, but I feel like it kind of takes away from like the clean look of the truck that I've got going right now, so I want to leave that. For the headlights, we'll go white. We will also put a white neon on this thing. I really like how it's looking in white, so let's keep that going. We got the Mind Mocked Racing, we got the Well-Worn livery, we have the Amigas Racing. That's a really sick livery, actually. I really like how that looks. We have the Aero Racing, we have the Indiana Champ, we have the Day Cruiser, we have the Dinka Delivery, the Battle Damaged livery as well, the Manor Drifter, the Yokohama Showstopper, that's kind of cool too, and back to none. I wasn't planning on going for a livery with this thing at all, but if I was going to go for one, the Amigas Racing would be so clean. But I do want to keep it white, I think. I think it looks really interesting in white. It also removes the license plate, oddly enough, so that's kind of interesting. We'll keep it ice white. We'll make the secondary color. Let's do the secondary ice white as well. Let's go ice white. Might as well. Let's do this thing like fully white. Why not? Yeah, I will put a cage in it, I think. Maybe a half cage though. I think that looks pretty good, so let's do that. Got some roof scoops for it. Not a fan of those. I'm not going to put any of those on. We do have a lip spoiler that we can put on it, which I'm honestly not opposed to, so I think I will actually probably go for that. We have the drift meat wing alt. That's kind of cool looking. Kind of like that actually. We will go for the boot lip spoiler though. Oh, actually it doesn't add any traction, so you know what, I'm gonna leave it off then. Sun strips, we do have a few different ones we could go for. I'm not really feeling it though, so I'm gonna avoid that. For the suspension, we can lower it down all the way. Let's go ahead and do that. Truck bed, we can put the outer cage braced or the rally setup. Kind of don't want it actually. I'm gonna leave that alone. And for the wheels, I really like the stock wheels, but I feel like sport category chrome endos could go really hard with this. I feel like those look sick on this truck. So let's do that. We'll go bulletproof on the tires. We'll tint the windows all the way out, I think. Why not? I'm not appreciating that tire poking through the fender though. So you know what, actually? I think I'm gonna raise it up. I think I'm gonna raise it. I'll go stock suspension on it, to be honest. So let's do that. Let's take it outside. I'm excited to see how this is gonna perform. With the modifications on it. I think it'll probably be pretty much exactly the same, but I'm curious to see. It does look really cool in the white though. Like the full white build on this thing with the chrome wheels, kind of really hard. I really like how this looks. Yeah, pretty cool, honestly. I appreciate that this truck came with the drift tuning for free. So, and the fact that the truck is free itself is awesome. So if you don't have any drift vehicles in GTA and you've been hesitant to spend money on, you know, trying them out, you can get this thing for free this week when this video goes out, and you can try it out for free and see if you like it. And if you like it, you can go ahead and put it on some other cars. But I think this is great that Rockstar actually released this for free. I feel like it's kind of fair that they did, because a lot of us purchased the Walton L35 stock, and a lot of people have probably also purchased the Walton L35 that existed before the stock variant as well. So I think it's nice that Rockstar actually gave us this for free. So hopefully a lot of you guys who haven't tried drift tuning will actually get the chance to try it out. I think it is a lot of fun, so I would recommend it. Especially since it's literally free. Like, you can't go wrong with it. You don't even have to upgrade this thing at all. You don't have to sink any money into it, and you can just go drifting, which is cool. So I'm impressed with this truck a lot, man. To be honest, I think this is probably one of the better drift tunable vehicles in the game, and the fact that you get drift tuning on it for free is really sick. So definitely recommend picking this one up for sure. I mean, there's literally no downside to it other than it takes up a garage slot. But yeah, I'm impressed. So let's go ahead and call the next vehicle, which I think we'll do the Chavos V6. Since I customized my Chavos V6 when it initially came out, I actually don't have mine anymore. So this is going to be a fresh Chavos V6. In fact, I don't actually even think I'm going to modify it, to be completely honest. I might change the color of it, but like other than that, like I can't really be bothered to customize this car again. I only really bought it because I wanted to make this video with it. It was 50% off though, so that's cool. But you never know, maybe it'll be a fantastic drift car. Who actually knows? It could be really, really good. So let's go ahead and see how it's going to be. I'm excited about it. I think I will give it some, I'll give it some window tint. Let's install the drift tint, 200,000 of course. Put some window tint on it, we'll put some wheels on it. Let's see, what do we want to go with for wheels? Maybe track wheels? You know what, actually? I kind of like the Giga Mesh almost. Let's go ahead and throw those on. I never use those wheels, so let's go ahead and do it. We'll do bulletproof tires on it. I will lower it down just because, why not, I guess. I guess we can't do any performance mods anyways because I already put drift tuning on it, so there you go, I guess. Let's do the respray though. Let's put it in my crew color, and that should be good. Let's take it outside. Let's see how this thing actually performs with the drift tuning on it. I'm pretty excited to see. Should be interesting. All right, here we go. Let's see how she does. Oh, initially, it's kind of got a nice little takeoff to it, to be completely honest. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. That's cool. It feels pretty good. It feels like a little bit, it feels like there's a good amount of body roll to it, which I almost think kind of helps it to feel a little bit, I don't know, more natural to drift, I guess. I don't think anybody has ever drifted a Honda Accord other than those guys that do the front wheel drive drifting in like Dubai or Saudi Arabia or whatever it is by just swinging the car back and forth. I don't know if you guys have seen those videos, but they're crazy. This thing feels like awfully precise, to be honest. I'm kind of super impressed. This thing feels really, really good. I did not think that out of the cars that got drift tuning today, I did not think I was going to be impressed by the Dinka Shavos V6, to be completely real. I thought this was going to be probably my least favorite car of the day, but I would say it's like the Walton L35 stock, and low-key this thing feels really, really good, which I kind of hate to say over the Hellfire, but kind of feels better than the Hellfire to me, which I, again, did not expect to be saying at all, but it just, you know, I think the thing is, really, what it is, this vehicle is so slow that it's kind of like the Rune Cheburek drift, where like you kind of can't really fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like it's so slow, where it's like it would be very challenging to mess up the drift with this vehicle, I feel like. And I guess the good thing is it's not getting any faster. You know, like I don't know, man. This thing feels pretty damn good to me. Like it feels very precise. And a little drift tap there. No, I didn't even touch. This thing's crazy, man, to be honest. It feels really good. It feels really, really good. I gotta give it up to the Shavos V6. I would say I'm impressed. That's actually crazy to say that, to form those words together in a phrase or a sentence even. It's kind of insane, but no, this thing feels really good, man. Actually really, really good. So I'd say if you want a good drift car, this thing might be, low-key might be the one to get this week, especially being 50% off. That's really not bad. But you know what? We do have one more car to test, and that is the Annis Hardy, which already drifts like pretty well without drift tuning. So we're gonna go back to the car meet, and we'll call the Annis Hardy. As a matter of fact, you know what? We'll call the Annis Hardy right now, just because I want to show you guys how it kind of feels before the drift tuning, and we'll compare it afterwards. All right, so we got the Annis Hardy here. Shit is so clean. It's kind of the same build as my Walton that I just did, but this car is really interesting because it's fairly planted, but you can definitely get it to drift pretty easily by like popping the handbrake, and you can like hold pretty good angle with it and everything, like once you're up at speed. Very curious to see how it's going to be with drift tuning. I have a feeling, oh my god, totally sold it right there, my bad. I have a sneaking suspicion this is going to be like one of the best drift cars in the entire game, to be completely real. I don't know, the Annis Hardy, there's something about this car that just, it already just feels so good without drift tuning that I feel like it's going to be crazy with drift tuning. Maybe I'm gonna get a brutal reality check here. Maybe it's gonna be literally horrible, but I have a feeling that it's gonna be really, really good. So I'm excited to see. Let's go ahead and find out. Damn, I think I have a C8 that I made that looks like exactly like that. That's kind of crazy. Let's see how this thing's gonna be. Drift tuning on the car, 200K down the drain. Let's go ahead and hop outside quick. Almost tempted to go into a mission so that we get a little bit better lighting. Kind of think I'm going to. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set up a mission. If you guys ever want to get into a mission that has the lighting like at the perfect time of day, Time to Get Away by Ron is a really good mission to go into, because you guys will see the time of day is like absolutely perfect. It's like noon, bright, clear weather every single time, nice blue sky, everything like that. So this is how I've been getting clips lately. Okay, with drift tuning, let's see the Annis Hardy. So far, feels kind of similar to the Chavos V6, which is good because it impressed me greatly. Oh man, there's also way less cars on the road in this mission, which is also another benefit of going into it. Annis Hardy with the drift tuning, it's kind of good. It's kind of good. I'm mildly impressed, I would say. So far, we'll see how it continues to do here. This is also a good way to drift if you want less cars on the road and stuff like that, and like the ability to like not get cops and stuff. This mission's like excellent for that, so highly recommend it for doing stuff like that. This thing, it kind of feels similar to the Chavos a little bit, in that sort of regard of like it's like kind of slow, so it's like kind of hard to mess up a little bit, but it feels like it can get like maybe slightly like better angle, and it almost feels like it has more of like that control that I was talking about, like with the Hellfire and the Chavos for that matter. But this car is, I don't know, it's also kind of like the L35 stock in the way of like how it sort of moves. I don't know how to describe this. I probably sound like a bumbling idiot right now, but it feels good. Like, it feels good. Of them all, I would say the Chavos V6 low-key is probably my favorite, but the Annis Hardy's doing good. It's doing good. It's just, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of like the Chavos in the way that it can't get up to the speed I was kind of hoping for. Same with the Hellfire. Like I said, with the Hellfire, it doesn't go as fast as I kind of would hope it would go, Granted, I guess if I go in a straight line for long enough and then I start drifting, I could bring some speed into the corners. Now, I don't know, this thing, it does feel really controllable, and it feels like it's in a nicer overall package than the Chavos V6, because I don't really want to drive around a Honda Accord in GTA Online. It's not exactly what I came here for. But the Annis Hardy is like kind of a sick-ass car, so it just, I don't know, it feels a little bit, maybe it's just my eyes, maybe it's just a little easier on the eyes, but it feels good to drift though. Like it does. It feels good to drift. I think, I don't know, maybe I was just on a really easy drifting course with the Chavos, because it's feeling, just as good here, to be honest. I think this thing's a little bit longer than the Chavos though, but it's also lower, so I feel like you're less likely to like run into like stuff that's hanging kind of low above the ground. So I don't know, I'm impressed with it. I'm definitely impressed with the Hardy. I'd say out of the vehicles on the day, I would say the Chavos is probably the winner for me. It just feels like so easy and like kind of awesome to drive. The Hardy though, I would say is like a good third, to be honest. I think the Hellfire is the worst car of the day, which kind of pains me because I think that's arguably my favorite out of the 4 cars that had drift tuning added to them. But the Walton L35 stock, I think largely due to its size, is like the second best car that's got the drift tuning on it. And then also the fact that it's free too. It kind of like, I could even argue that it's actually better than the Chavos because it's just so cheap. Like, it's literally free, and then customization cost, like that's it. So if you're watching this in the future though, I think the L35 is going to be worth some amount of money. Like, it's not going to be free forever, depending on what one you can get the cheapest, which I think would be the Hellfire. Like, you wouldn't be disappointed with that car by any means. It's just, I feel like it's not as easy to control as some of these other ones that we've gone over. later on in this video. So all of them are good cars to drift. I don't think you'd actually be really disappointed with any of them, to be completely honest. I just think some are, you know, maybe mildly better than others, and maybe it might even just be because of my own opinion and my own feelings towards them. But that being said, the Hellfire is my favorite car, and I do think it's the worst out of the new ones, so do with that information what you will. But yeah, guys, that's it for the new drift cars in GTA Online. I'm glad that we got some more cars with drift tuning available. That's actually really cool. Hopefully they add more cars in the future, but let me know what you thought of this video in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't, of course, and consider subscribing to my channel if you guys are new. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Peace.